I want to, for our audience, just name the names of players that they know who have been, and we've named a bunch. Tanaka, Matsui hit a home run at Koshien. Daisuke threw like 250 pitches one day and then pitched the next day. Yusei Kikuchi pitched with a broken rib. Otani pitched and lost, and you have his post-game interview from there, which is just so full of emotion. Is there always one player that takes it by storm? And is that how all of these players that I just named were? Were they like heroes of their time, or were they late bloomers? Or, have you guys known these names since they were like 16?
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like every summer, there's just a couple of heroes are born. Out of those people you mentioned, for example, Tanaka and Matsuzaka were really those like in the moment at like 17, 18 years old, a household name, and we still love them for that no matter what happens in their career later. It's just like every Japanese person has like a soft spot for them, for that 18-year-old that gave us so much inspiration that summer, and then there's like other professional leaguers, like Otani was always a very, like, everybody knew he was amazing, but because he actually didn't like perform that well, his team at Koshien, he didn't even make it to Koshien his senior year, which was a big surprise. He was kind of declared to go to the majors out of high school, and then ended up joining Japanese baseball anyway. But that was really kind of when things took off for him, I would say. But then there's different versions of heroes. Actually, Matsui, people know him not for his home run, but the fact that he was intentionally walked 5 times at Koshien, which ultimately worked, and his team lost, and that was at the time crazy, controversial in this pure form of the sport. It was a riot basically. So that's kind of
in one game. Was he walked 2 games? Okay.
Yeah.
So he still hit a home run, and they just walked him 5 times. That's crazy.
He'd done so well in his previous years too that by the time it was his senior year, I mean, that was what the other team decided to do, and it paid off for the victory. But in terms of the spirit of the sport, it was just highly, highly controversial. So and in our year, in the 100th tournament, there was this guy, Kosei Yoshida from a very northern prefecture in Akita, that had never really done very well in Koshien, who, threw every pitch for his team from the regional through to the finals of Koshien, I think 1,500 pitches over the course of a month. And he became, really the hero, although he didn't win in the final, because he was like kind of the hero of that year. So there's always like a couple of people. And then there's also other professional, like, Ichiro, for example, in high school, he was a pitcher actually, so he like threw at Koshien, but he's one of the kind of more rarer examples of, he's most known for like not crying when he didn't make it to Koshien his senior. He was so focused on being a pro, and he knew like this wasn't it for him, which is kind of an exception. I think even those guys who go to the pros and know that they'll have a career, just high school baseball is usually like a very emotional thing. But looking back, I feel like people knew like he was a different one from that time. So each person has kind of a Darvish, through a lot in high school baseball, and there's like just a lot of emotional shots of those players from that time, which is I think the U.S. audience would also be kind of interested to see. But